How is everyone today? Let's make sure this is set up properly. Is there anybody home? Hello? Oh my goodness. Alright, I have to go back into this. Because apparently it's not working. I know you can all see me. I just have to get to where I can see chat. Yes. Yes, there we are. Waiting for a mobile stream video. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. There I am. How are you all doing today? Hope you're getting prepared for a wonderful Christmas. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Oh, I got some coffee. Just trying to chill and recover from what I went through over the past 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll just wait for everyone to mosey on in here, and if they do mosey on in here, that's great. And if not, you don't. But if you do, that's awesome. Because today we're just going to kind of discuss the project that I had done that kind of obliterated itself while I was trying to fly it. Hi, how you doing? XD. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it like XD Adam? I hope I got that right. I don't want to get it wrong. Datum. I'm trying, man. I'm sorry, but welcome anyway. Ethan, 1256 sent 100 joules, 104 2 joules. Okay, I got you. Thank you for that, Ethan. So, yeah, we're just here to kind of chat and hang out, talk about the projects, talk about the previous videos, talking about this horrific crash. That was funny. If you haven't seen that video, watch that one. That's the 90mm wing. That was funny because when I build my stuff, I go. I try to build it out completely, but I'm not rich, so I'll get impatient. I'll be like, I'm gonna go try this right now. RGZ. I expected at least one troll. Go on in here and start something. That's funny though. That's funny. It goes to show that people are, their opinions are basically their own visions. Diadem, dude. I love you, man. I do. Thank you for that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely heart in that one. Absolutely. You know what? And happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you as well. And the projects that I have are multiple. So we've got the 90mm wing, we have the 70mm EDF drone, and then we have the 5 foot by 5 foot 340mm EDF drone that was printed with 28 kilograms of PETG. And it's still being built because there's a lot to do. And everyone's like, well, why haven't you got a maiden done on that one yet? And I was like, well, because the motors are really, really expensive. And so are the battery packs. And I would have done more over the past couple weeks, but I ended up getting shingles, which I guess is just like when chicken pox comes back and slaps you in the face again when you're older. And it was it was horrible. I still have some nerve pain over it, but it was horrid. They were like, everyone's like, they're doing the vaccine. I'm like, why is it every time there's a vaccine for something, and it's a brand new vaccine, that that if you don't get it, you get the virus that they're trying to vax you for, and then you get over it, and then your immune system is like, hey, cool, we got this now. And then everybody else is just, they're like taking the vaccine and then, just, having heart attacks and stuff like that. And they're like, you know what? It's all the people's fault that didn't vaccinate. And I'm not against vaccination. They're really not, because you have to. But there are certain ways to do things. And using the American populace as guinea pigs isn't one of them. So, it's just been rough. It was rough. It was probably one of the most painful things that I have felt. I'd rather have been shot again, because that didn't hurt as bad or for as long. You're a wealthy investment banker. You'll pay handsomely to be used as your personal. Okay. That's kind of specific and a little bit odd. But hey, if you can identify as whatever you want to now, right? Well, let's see how rich you are with a super chat. Because I doubt you'll throw anything out there. If you're that rich and you're that desperate, and you want me to be R. Kelly, I want to see a super chat. So I'm just telling you. That's all there's. Don't come in here with that. Don't come in here with that. That's gross. But anybody who missed the 90mm wing flight, well, if you can call it that, go check it out. What I did is I had this on a cart. Oh, and this is cool too. It's my little Mario Kart. That's probably plagiarizing, but I call it a Mario Kart because it reminds me of the game Mario Kart. Because I used it as a test launch platform for. Thank you so much. Wow. Datum. I mean, wow. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. Datum's just hammering it away today. Wow. God bless you too. You made me lose my train of thought. I appreciate it so much. It helps out because I put everything back into this. And it's to make more product. I'm actually going to be reprinting this. I redesigned this a little bit. I wanted to hand launch it, but I didn't trust myself. I didn't know what the overall outcome of that was going to be. So I made this cart that it sat in. So when it took off from the ground, it would lose the cart, and then I could land in the grass easy enough. Well, that didn't work out quite like I planned. But it was entertaining nonetheless. But I went ahead and made some tweaks to it. I made some adjustments. I gave myself a little bit more wingspan, probably about 120 millimeters more. And I thought about putting flaps into it, but what I did was I integrated the cart wheels into the actual lower body hub, and then added compartments so that I could put the ESCs and everything down below the center of gravity. And then I ran some CFD analysis, which I put a video up for, and it worked. It turned out to be really, really well. So next flight will be the same design except a little bit longer wing. I'm doing it in black PETG. I'm printing it with a 0.6 millimeter, 0.6 millimeter nozzle instead of a 0.4. That way I can get down to one wall thickness. It gives me, instead of giving me an 8 millimeter wall, it gives me a 6 millimeter wall, and the infill is also 6 millimeters. So you end up getting a stronger overall design with less weight, and the all up weight really matters. I'm going to do the epoxy coat like I did on the last one, which made the wing extremely strong. I mean, the body cracked where I figured it would, but at this real thin point, you can see there's a thin point in the back here where that actually broke on this side. But the wing itself is just, for a 3D printed wing, I mean, come on. That's crazy, right? And if you watch the video, the full video of this, and not just the short, because the short was pretty popular, the full video of this, you can see how I would get almost a speed where it would try to take off, and then it would spin, because I had no rudder. I went out there without a rudder. I was like, it's a flying wing, it doesn't need a rudder. I found out it needed a rudder. So I incorporated a rudder into the new design. So now it's actually going to be more entertaining. It'll fly. I promise. Fingers crossed. Oh, yeah. It's Christmas. That's right. Vicky Buckner, welcome to the chat. So the next one will fly. I don't know if I'm going to incorporate the flaps into it. I thought about it just so I'd have a little bit shorter takeoff, but it only brought it down, according to the CFD analysis, it only brought it down from 29 miles an hour to 24, which is significant in a sense, because I'm taking off from a dirt field. So actually it's a baseball diamond. So I kind of need runway possible. But that video, that 90 millimeter maiden, was funny. And I knew how funny it was going to be just after I had started it. And I went ahead and I said, you know what, when I'm editing this, I'm going to find the quirkiest music I can for this, because it deserves it. Because it was funny. It was funny. So trust me, go check it out. It's what it's not like you can miss it, the thumbnail up there. You know. It had a lot of power though. It had a lot of power. The problem was I was impatient. I went out there without a rudder. So rudder is incorporated in the new design, and on the CFD analysis, you can actually see the new design. I put some pictures of it at the end of that video, and that'll actually kind of show you what's, you know, how things are going to look when it's finished. The wheels don't turn. That was one of the biggest things. I had these TPU wheels that I had on the cart, and I didn't want to turn with these wheels because I didn't have to worry about adding all those extra parts. These will scoot just fine in the dirt or even on the asphalt. It's light enough. As long as you have a rudder, and it's not just a rudder, it's actually a thrust vectoring vane that's right behind the 90 mil EDF, and that's going to give me my yaw authority. And yes, I know I'll lose a little bit of thrust when I do yaw left or right, but the way it's designed, it should be okay. But it gives me that yaw control so it doesn't go into a spin, because what was happening was it would get up to speed, and then it would start to take off, and as soon as it wanted it to start taking off, it would go into a spin really fast. And that was because it was all the weight was coming off of the wheels, and at that point it just whipped around. So no matter what I did, I would get up to a certain speed, it would gain just enough lift to whip around, and I just kept digging holes in the baseball diamond with the wings. It was funny. Yeah, it turned left. It always turned left, and then that's all it would do. And that's obviously an engine torque issue. CG knows that, you know. How you doing? Another CG. Glad you could stop by. What material is that RC plane 3D print? Oh, that's PETG. That's just standard clear PETG. But what I did was I took an epoxy and did a really thin coat. And then on the bottom, I took that, that screen meshing that they use for like masks, like one way, masks, so you can hide the eyeballs. And I impregnated that, giggity, with epoxy, and then I coated that on the wing, and that actually turned it into a very, very, very strong wing. I mean, this thing survived. The wing is tough. That's without a carbon fiber spar, nothing. That's just the printing. That's a 3% gyroidal infill with 2 outer walls with a 4mm nozzle. So I've gone down to 2 on the infill, and I'm using a 6mm or a 0.6mm nozzle. 0.4. I didn't mean 4mm. And the new one is going to be a little bit more rigid because it's going to be less layer lines trying to lock together, because it's almost 8. It's 6. It's 0.2 short, but with the epoxy it'll be fine. You have any old monitors that are 21 inches or smaller? I've got one here in the garage I'm looking at right now. Why? You need one? You can you can use a standard small TV, right, with an HDMI output. You should know that. You know that. Oh, but yeah, I think I got a monitor around here. I got one over there on the wall. But that's where I'm trying to watch Stranger Things. I never watched it the whole time. Like, it was out. I mean, I guess it's still out, but I never watched it. And then, like, everyone's like, I keep seeing these commercials for it, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch this, see what it's about. Now I'm on season 2, 3, season 2 or 3. I can't remember. Maybe at the beginning of 3. The old monitor is too big to fit the cabinet. The MSI? The curved monitor you got? The first 2 seasons were good. So what happened after that? Don't tell me. I want to watch it and find out. But yes, today is about getting to know people, getting more people to come in and say, hey, this is a cool channel. I love the projects. I love the 3D printing. I love the drones. I love the planes. I love the experimentation. If I go out and I fly something and it fails, it fails. I just reprint it. As long as my hardware is fine, the motor, battery, stuff like that, I'm cool. I'll just reprint it and fix the problem. But it's fun. That's the fun, right? I'm a retired Army, so that's the fun in it. And when you guys do what you do, like Datum, just it goes right back into this because I'm on vet benefit. I'm paid by the government, so you can imagine that it's not much. So yeah, I'm not asking for a bunch of money, but it's great when somebody comes in and goes, here, appreciate your work. It just makes me feel better about what I'm doing, even after having a crash or something like that. So, have you ever thought about 3D printing it out of filament foam? You know what? I have not ASA Aero. PLA Aero, yes. ASA Aero, no. That stuff is a nightmare. At least in the X1 carbon. It's a nightmare. Okay, by the time you're done printing a part with ASA Aero in the Bamboo Lab X1 carbon, it's a snow globe and maybe a part. I'm serious. You know what I'm talking about. Unless you've got settings I don't know about. Everything I've done, I get a snow globe and a partial part. But yeah, I like the PLA Aero. The PLA Aero works great. The ASA Aero, no. I had no luck with that at all. Can you see the monitor? Um, well, I mean, it's just a, an old HP. Here, look it up because I can't show it to you because I'm reading it right now. It's an HP LP 2465. Very old. It's like one of those old office monitors, ones you can turn sideways and stuff. But yeah, the ASA Aero is terrible. I could just be printing it wrong. I admit I could be printing it wrong, but I printed PA 6. Well, it's fiber reinforced nylon. So that's what I printed. I printed with that, and I had no issues at all with that. But you take ASA Aero, you put it in there, and the printer goes, "Here's part of your part," and then it's like somebody like opened up a package with a bunch of foam peanuts and just like threw them everywhere inside your printer. Glory! How you been, brother? Haven't seen you in a bit. I'm glad you're here. Would you like a wing? Ugh. See, the ESC and the 90 mil are still fine. Just a little dirty. Everything is fine. All my hardware was fine. The battery was fine. I was so glad about that. Because my biggest fear was that I was going to break an EDF or a blade on the EDF, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. Because then I have to get a blade and then dynamically balance the whole thing again. And you usually know how that goes. So, been staying busy? Well, that's good. I've had the shingles for like 3.5 weeks. That's like being on fire with no way to put yourself out. And it was like it wasn't on my. I only got the how it usually presents itself. I got like the shingles rash on my back on the left side at the top, but the nerve pain went all the way around my chest. It was like my muscles were like full of crushed glass, and my skin felt sunburnt all the time. And it was persistent. I'm still dealing with a little bit of nerve pain, but other than that, I'm over it. I did the whole antiviral course and all that other stuff, and getting better. But admittedly, I am drained from it. I am drained from it. Burn like a Tesla truck. That's about right. That's how you do it right there. Oh, you know what? It's interesting. I've been trying, working in the shop, doing my best here to turn this into something where I can, provide for my family, continue the hobby, that kind of thing. I know it's kind of a pipe dream. No one wants to hire a vet that's, over 50% disabled because sometimes I have to have a cane. Sometimes I get a disc that goes out my back, and then I'm done for like a week until it stops. So it's been hard to find any kind of side work. So I'm trying to turn this into that and fund what I'm doing, plus give my my family a better life and all this. But they give me county assistance as well, I guess, just for food, like the SNAP benefits, stuff that disappeared like a month and a half ago or something like that, and everybody freaked out, and then it came back when the government closed down. I had a rough month, 1 month out of that, but most of this stuff is provided by like the filaments, the printer, all that stuff's provided by my brother, my friend. I won't say his name on live unless he wants me to, but he provided me a toolbox and the CNC that we put together because we both built that. and then a table to work on and stuff like that. And I just like everything. Everyone's been kind of helping out, so I can continue to do this experimental propulsion thing, and have some fun doing it and make the hobby a little bit more interesting. So I've been doing. I've had a lot of help from a lot of different people, and it's I love it. I love each and every one of you for it. But realistically, it was the most interesting thing happening. Now, don't let this happen to you. I don't know why, but at 7 o'clock this morning, two detectives came to my door. And they knocked on the door and they're like, hey, we're with Stanislaus County. We're just making sure. Now you know what county I live in. Doesn't matter because my business license has my address. It's a research and development business. I don't sell anything. I just made it a business so I could tax write off some of my rental. Now, they come to the door and they knock on the door and they're like, we just need to like have a look around inside your house. And all they had was like a blue badge, and I couldn't really see because I didn't have my glasses on. It had a blue badge with like a sheriff-looking seal and a clipboard, and they were in one of those SUVs like the sheriffs use, but it was gray. It didn't have lights or anything on it. And I'm thinking to myself, and it was two men, and I'm thinking to myself, you want me at 7 o'clock in the morning to open my door while everyone's still asleep? Because we're in the Christmas holiday season, right? So that you can go through my house and look to see who's here? You're out of your fucking mind. That's all there is to it. I'm like, no, you can't. They go, well, if you don't cooperate, they could stop your benefits. I'm like, you know what? The county does not do shit like this. Excuse my language. They do it with paperwork. They do it. They verify who's there with paperwork. Like birth certificates for my children and stuff like that, and mine. They know who's here. So I don't know who this person is, or these people were, that came up to my door. I'm like, this is a big red flag, okay? So they come up to my door, and they're like, we need to look inside your house and look into your rooms and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you nuts? No. And they're like, okay, well, I just want you to know they can stop your benefits if you don't. I'm like, you know what? I know exactly what the heck is going on. First off, they're not going to... an investigator wouldn't threaten me with taking away my benefits if I didn't let him into my house at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm a vet, okay? I have what I need to protect my family. Things could have gone sideways real fast if he would have pushed himself or tried to get in. That's all there is to it. So don't let people do that. If they come up and they say, oh, you got to be leery of these kind of scammers, because it could have been scammers just trying to get in your house, trying to rob you before Christmas. You never know. And so, because I called my worker, and I'm like, I left a message. I haven't heard back from her. I'm like, what's going on here? People come up to my door unannounced, no, appointment letter, nothing like that, nothing at all, just showing up. And just being like, we want to go through your house. I'm like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? Who's going to fall for that? You didn't present a badge or anything like that. You're wearing a blue thing inside of a pocket that has a seal or something. I couldn't see it because, like I said, I didn't have my glasses on because I just woke up. I've had a rough couple of weeks, right? Going through what I'm going through. So what do? They're like, well, they just took off. They left. They didn't press the issue. They just told me, well, they could stop your benefit. I'm like, yeah, try it. And while you're at it, try to get in my house. Go ahead, force your way in and see what happens. I think, how many rights did they violate right there? They were on my property, unannounced, to walk through a house and just see who's here. Who does that? I have no criminal history or anything like that. I don't even have a parking ticket, and it's like, and they're gonna come to my door and try to vet my, family. They're like, yeah, who's here? No, I don't think so. With all things going on in the world, you picked the wrong time to change up the way you guys do stuff. If this is legit, that's all there is to it. That's just all there is to it. And it's like that sounds like a Newsom move. It really does. You know, a new scum move. The guy who sits with his legs crossed, like he has nothing down there to worry about. What man sits like that? I mean, come on. What man sits like that? Who sits crossing their legs like that? Yeah, every man out there is watching right now. The men who are watching. Who sits like that? You know exactly what's going to happen. You try to cross your legs like that, tight jeans like that. When you see Newsom do it, you know there ain't nothing down there. Abide by what? Ain't nobody, I'm not letting anybody in my house at 7 o'clock in the morning who says they work the county and they want to just verify that I exist. Andrew, you crossed your legs like Newsom? Are you all right? Does it hurt? I'm not gonna try it. Look up Gavin Newsom. Look at one of his interviews. And the fact that he like talks like this, like he's dodging bullets in the Matrix or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, another CG kids. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. I mean that's to me. If you're sitting like that. If you're sitting like that, you castrated yourself a long time ago because he had no worry in the world. He just goes straight friggin', you know what I mean? And it's like, that would have hurt, man. That would have hurt. You, what? You're gonna have to unpack that last comment, Andrew. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to? What laws? D. Will, explain yourself. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I was trying to think that, what was that? Basic Instinct. If I don't like who doesn't like the laws? Who are you talking to, D. Will? Is somebody in the comments? Oh, hey, Evan, how you doing, man? I'm waiting for clarification from D. Will here. Okay, what laws am I not abiding by? Exactly. Tell me. Since you've jumped up in here and all of a sudden, I didn't know that the chat was like an area for you to prove credentials. But go ahead. Yeah. The wings out of PLA actually did that on the Javelin, and don't tell Spider because I haven't finished the Javelin yet. But yeah, the printing things with separate, like I did like the core section of one of my designs in PLA, and then I did the wings in PLA Aero. So yeah, I have done that before. But to get back to what the yeah, I don't care about what anybody says in the chat. I mean, Tell me if not follow the rules. What have you done for your country? I bled for mine. D Will 8. Birth year probably starts with 2, trying to school me. Shit, I remember when there was T-Rex parking. So you don't know what law I'm talking about. What law? You're just spewing stuff out there? What law was I talking about? Please tell me. Clarify. Evan, I have no idea who you're talking to half the time. Are you talking to me? No, I went in for a PTSD testing, and I don't think so. I mean, 4th of July doesn't bother me. Peacetime kind of bothers me because there's no war. But yeah, D Will 8. Hey, welcome to the chat, man. I appreciate the fishing, but you're not going to catch anything. But you are helping the algorithm, so thank you. But no, I was never diagnosed with any kind of PTSD. I was just injured and came home. And it never really bothered me. Like the sound, like a lot of people think it's the sounds and stuff like that and of war that bother you, like fireworks going off, so on and so forth. The only thing I couldn't shake was I eat, when I eat, it's like everything's under 2 minutes. That's the one thing from basic I never got rid of. It's like everyone tries to tell me, slow down and enjoy your food. I'm like, I'm just eating it normal. Okay, so if you're telling me, D Will, to abide by the laws, but whatever, man, just do what I want. So you're advocating for me breaking a law that you seem to think that I am not abiding by. So now not only have you made up a law, you're telling me to go ahead and break it while simultaneously telling me to abide by it or leave the country? You need to stop huffing paint, brother. Because you were making no sense whatsoever. I think you need to get checked for PTSD. But again, keep feeding that algorithm. Appreciate it. Oh, what were you saying? You said, yeah. 123 GoPro. How do you say your name? Matuz? Matt? I don't want to say it wrong. Like, do it phonetically or something. It worked out well to have that core and then a lighter wing. It really did. But the thing is, you can't print like PLA Aero with a single wall model like you do with single wall PLA prints unless it's a different type of foaming material. I don't know. The PLA Aero didn't foam up enough for single wall prints, but like if you did like 2 walls and then some infill, it made a strong wing that you could sand, which is really cool. And it gave you a really strong but flexible wing. And it made the whole ship lighter. I mean, it was really cool. Oh, there's another nonsensical sentence from D. Will. Yeah, I know, Evan. I actually did a CFD test video on the new design, so you can check it out if you want. The CFD analysis shows that it's giving good lift, so it's going to work. There is a natural dihedral in the design, so plus the angle of attack is at about 1.5 degrees. It's almost like a the wing is made out of how do I say this? It almost feels like one of those drywall sanders. Almost, when the texture's done. It's kind of, it's not smooth, but you can tell it almost feels like a rough foam, but more uniform. Yeah. Yeah, I've started to answer Arial HD. I have started the reprint, and I'm using a thicker printing nozzle this time so I can kind of lower the all up weight. Because I know now that I did 2 wall thicknesses on the original wing, and then when I did the light epoxy coat on there, the strong wing, right? That didn't break. The thin wall part, you can see how kind of it's thin right here, and that's kind of where it gave way. Well, obviously, what wouldn't when it kind of rolled into the wing and then folded itself? But I redid it with, and I'm printing it with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle with PETG. I'm not using a CF or anything like that because that would be too stiff. I want the flexibility of the PETG. I'm going to be running carbon fiber spars down the length of the wing, and I did extend the wing about 125 millimeters, I think. What is not concaved? It is now. Had plenty of lift. The problem was you needed a speed of about 24 miles an hour in order for it to gain lift. And I didn't go out with a rudder. I made this clear at the beginning. I was bored. I didn't want to put a rudder in. I wanted to go out and fly. I was in pain. And I was like, I'm going to go fly this anyway. Lift my spirits, no matter what it does, right? So I went out and I flew it without a rudder, so I had no yaw control, so I couldn't get it out. The reason why it would spin is because it was getting lift, and then the wheels had no more traction. That's why it would spin. Okay, Evan. There's no lift on the wings, just like you said. Everybody agree with Evan. We wouldn't want him to feel bad. Look, I can take constructive criticism, but if you don't have any experience in this, don't offer it. Now we got D. Will A. Real stubborn. You're still here, aren't you? It must be entertaining enough. Yeah. But yeah, what happened was, if you look at the video, and this is for Arial HD, you may have already watched it. I know everything. Did you really just say that? I know everything. Who told you? You're just fabrication. What are you talking about? Yeah, bye, D. Will. We don't like you right now. Evan, I would tread lightly. Somebody's moderating. He must have. He must have Matthews. Matthews, am I saying that right? Matthews? Oh, he's gone again. Look, there's obviously something bothering D. Will. So let's find out what it is and see if we can't make him feel better. So he enjoys the chat and enjoys the discussion and then goes and watches a bunch of videos and checks out the content. Maybe it's something he likes to watch. Maybe he had a bad day. Maybe I don't. I couldn't tell you where his girlfriend is, Evan. I'm sorry. I'm not psychic. But maybe he had a. It's possible he's just having a bad day. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I deal with trolls all the time. Trolls come in, they say crap, they leave. Um, or I turn them, and then they become part of my crew. But it could be the fact that he's still here, that he's just having a bad day. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And let's be civil with each other. Evan, I don't expect you to listen, so it is what it is. You'll either talk yourself into the corner or leave willingly. Yeah, that's the question I was trying to figure out. Is when you narrate other people's, what are you talking about? Anybody? Who's not smart? So you're not. I don't know if you guys are talking to each other because you seem to be having conversations with each other. If you're saying I'm not smart, then you have very low perception of things. It's very narrow, which is typical online. What is it about 5 by 7? Your existential crisis rectangle. I'm just curious because you're just you keep saying the same stuff over and over again, like just disconjointed sentences. That's what it is. It's funny though. It is quite entertaining. These lives entertain me more than most everybody else, I'm guessing. Except for the people who are really here for the concept, or the chat, or to hang out and talk, and to like get to know, the guy behind the project, and things like that. Which is kind of what I try to do. I try to have sort of a. Are you asking if this is coffee, Andrew? Yes, it's coffee. Gotta have coffee, man. Evan, if you mean that I'm doing what I love to do, which is experimental aviation and propulsion and things like that, then yeah, you can call that a weirdo world if you want, but that's for someone who, eats crayons. You say it however you want to. Does cyan actually taste like a grape, or do you have to uh, different color? Maybe, I don't know. I do drones and stuff like that, but and planes too. And the reason why is because I don't want to do just drones, because one thing I miss is the old school serial bus nitro powered planes, man. I missed the nitro. I found an old nitro plane, Cessna style, and it was balsa wood, with the shrink wrap, and it was old and needed some care. So I took the old shrink wrap off and I fixed it and fixed the motor, and then I rewrapped it, and I had fun flying that thing. I loved flying nitro. A ball with fan drone. You talking about? Are you talking about the a ball with fan drone? Andrew, clarify that for me. You know, with like that single sphere thing with the one blade in it that just flies back and forth? Because I think that's coaxial. I think they use two blades in that. Otherwise, it would just go in one direction forever and do circles. Oh, he's attacking Glory now. Oh, okay. Like a chicken wire ball, plastic with fan drone ball lights up. That'd be interesting. You attack. What? You're attacking? Attacking? Evan, are you okay, man? See, Glory's in the room, so I'm not worried about Evan at all. Evan's jealous. I think Evan's jealous because I know how to do things. I think Evan's jealous because I know everything, and and it bothers him. It bothers him. Who narrating what? I'm talking. Oh, I'm a good storyteller. That's obvious. Must be because you're still here and you're enjoying it. So when I tell stories about my life or my drones or my planes or my past and stuff like that, everyone seems to like it. You're still here. Like everyone comes in to troll, but they're like still hanging out. You know. They come in here and they're like insult, insult, insult. Wait a minute, I like being here. What in the world is going on outside? I hope it's just kids like having fun out there. Oh, Evan, enlighten us, please. What dumb comments have I made? I think Evan doesn't have any place else to go, to be honest with you. Because he's always here in the chat. Evan, just keep talking. It's fine. You're feeding the algorithm. Just keep going. It's fine. You just troll away. It's funny, but back to what I was talking about. Um, the new version of the wing, like I said before, has a longer wingspan. It'll be printed in a different nozzle diameter. Still the same 90 millimeter EDF. The all up weight's not going to be much more. It's actually going to be a little bit lighter than the one with the shorter wings, which is kind of hard to imagine. But the battery is a 6,000 milliamp brick. So a lot of people think, that's too heavy for a 7 or an 80, or I'm sorry, a 90 millimeter EDF with a flying wing that has a swept design. Well, I'm thinking to myself that I don't think it's too heavy at all. This is kind of mimics the B2 in a sense, except the B2 doesn't have dihedral, and this does have a slight dihedral for stabilization, and their internal wing cord is a bit thicker than the one I'm using right here. So model wise, if I were to make it a little bit more than 27 centimeters at the root cord, I could probably do a B2 style wing, But then I would have to get rid of the dihedral, which means I'd have to add not just flaperons and everything else, and it would just be a complete That's a whole new plane. I might as well just do a whole new plane, right? Plus, it uses 2 engines primarily, which you could get away with 1, but I would want to do 2, because then that would centralize the battery in the main middle of the body. So maybe we'll do a B2. That'd be fun. Oh, you do? I'm so heartbroken. Yeah, he thinks that the wing doesn't have any lift, even though the last video I put out was actually a CFD test. The full CFD analysis that shows that it does provide lift. But hey, what do I know, right? I'm just the engineer in the room. Okay, Evan. What exactly do you think I should change the wings to? Just in your expert opinion. Root chord length, overall wing area, wing sweep in degrees, please. Give me the tip chord length as well, aileron placement, and whether or not I should use flaps for a 90 millimeter. And just get ready and go. I'll wait. I'm waiting. Go ahead. I need root chord length, wing area, airfoil design, and because there's specific DAT files depending on what airfoil you want to use. We also need the tip chord length. We want to make sure where the ailerons are going to be placed, whether you're going to do flaperon, elevon, or elevator control, or aileron control and then elevator at the rear if you're going to run a tail, which you'd have to because I assume you don't know how to build a plane. Plus, you have to consider where your servo placements. You want to make sure there's no flutter when the servos actuate, so you have to use cloth hinges, obviously. So, just in your expert opinion, Evan, tell me all the specifications of the wing you would put on that 90 millimeter EDF to make it have lift. Oh, he took control of my brain again. No, I'm picking your brain to see why it's empty. It's like if you're going to offer actual criticisms, if you're going to offer actual, like if you think you have a better idea, then put it out there. But just don't come in here ass first, I just spout and shit off because you don't know what you're talking about. It's just that simple. That's true, Glory. I wasn't supposed to pick the color either. Evan likes to come in here and thinks he gets control of the channel and the chat and stuff like that. He said that multiple times, but what I love about it is the fact that he keeps saying stuff and the algorithm loves the chat rate. So, thanks, Evan. You can pretend up here that you've done whatever it is you think you're doing. Um, all you're doing is paying me. So, thank you. That's a good one, Glory. But I think Evan was a test tube baby. I'll be honest with you. He's one of those kids that was put in those like fire department boxes when he was a baby. Even his parents were like, "This dude's gonna be an asshole," and they put him in the box and left. Oh. I think it's hilarious. It's actually quite funny. But just keep chatting. There you go. Chat it up. Keep chatting. Chat rate's going up. Ka-ching. Ka-ching. Keep going. Uh-oh. It looks like I'm in Evan's head now. He's angry. What does that say? Angry Otter reacts. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping by. Welcome. Welcome, Camary 420. How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Be careful, the trolls are lurking. Evan has no idea what he's talking about, so just ignore him. All right. Is it cold up there? Kamiri? Am I saying your name right? Kamiri? Kimmery? I don't know what, sorry. I butcher names, like, all the time. I apologize. Because apparently we're supposed to get, like, an atmospheric river here or some stuff like that. And they said 3 days ago it was going to start pouring down rain. We haven't had much of anything at all. Kim Airy. Kim Airy. It reminds me of a bird. Yeah, Cole. The thing about living in the Valley of California is that we had that weird tool fog. That was just here for I think 3 weeks, where it was just no sunlight the entire time. And 3 below. That would be awesome. My planes would survive landings probably better with all that ice and snow on the ground. The hell is Evan talking about now? The GIFs of it? Somebody has a birth year that starts with 2. Hi, Evan. Yeah. Glory. Yeah, he would get lost in an elevator. I've never heard anybody say it just like that, but yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that was wood stove fire. Oh man, and the smell that comes off of them, it's just like you never want to leave the wild, man. You just like get the fire going, watch the snow outside, and just enjoy the cool weather. And just if I could live like that year round, I would. You know, but no, not in the valley of California. Most we get's a bunch of smog. And like I said, it'd be more forgiving on my planes. Like, it's like we had like a foot of snowfall. That's awesome. I'm gonna go fly because when I wreck, it's just gonna go. And then I can just go grab it out of the snow and everything's fine. Clapping seal? You sent a clapping seal? Why does it tell me that, but it doesn't show me the clapping seal? Oh, because Evan's the clapping seal. I gotcha. Evan, come on. Why is it that people try so hard to tell me that I'm wrong on what I'm designing? And then I'll bet you $50 it won't fly. You don't even have $50. Okay? You're in your mama's basement. You're eating Doritos, possibly Cheeto Puffs, and after you're done here, you're going to go back to playing Roblox. We know this. So you don't have $50 to spare. I'll take it. I'll take it, Glory. I will take the money. I'll build a bigger shop on more land and an area where I can fly free and open. Because the big drone, once it's done, well, take for a ride to the store. Evan's looking in a mirror right now, doing this, and then he said that sentence. Just if you guys wanted to frame the whole thing and what he just said. Oh, I hide behind. Are you saying I hide behind stupid? I don't hide behind stupid insults. I'm hoping that if you are offended at all, that it's at least more than one person that's offended, so I haven't wasted my time. Come here, I'll tell you. I deal with Evan all the time. You would think this would be like a one-time troll kind of thing where they come in and try to like ruin the chat, but I love it. I love it. I think it's amazing. I love it because it doesn't bother me at all, and it just helps the algorithm. But Evan always comes back to every single live, usually with the same bland material, and he says the same thing over and over again. Now, I'd be impressed if he had something new to say, but he never does. It's usually the same stuff. So you'll come to expect that when he's here. So my apologies, but it's going to be the same. Like if you come back to the next live I do and he's here, it's going to be the same thing. See, there he goes again. That's like I don't know how many times he said that same line. Evan, what design experience do you have? I'd literally take your advice seriously if you weren't such a moron. So if you just tell me what experience you had in designing aircraft, then I would listen. But you can't come into a chat and insult people and start stuff and try to get people worked up and then go, I'll bet you this. If you do this, it'll work. No one wants to listen to you. You're not offering any advice. You're just saying, I bet this. If you pay if you do this, it'll work and all this other stuff. I mean, do you know how many people told me that the 70 millimeter drone, the EDF drone, wouldn't fly? A lot of people just like you. Oh, that'll never work. That'll never work. That'll never work. And the Shrike Maiden went off without a hitch. It was freaking beautiful. Troll Defense Fund Magical Pixie. You rock. That's awesome right there. Loving that one. A round of applause for Magical Pixie. Oh, I love it. I love it. You're making me blush. Stop. Oh my gosh, that was funny. I'm gonna remember that one for a long time. Troll Defense Fund. Now I have to start a Troll Defense Fund. Like, I'm gonna go to my bank and they're gonna be like, "You want to open another account?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because I need to. I need. What do you want to call it? Troll Defense Fund." I'll do it. I will. I'll walk right into my bank. I'll say I need another account. It says Troll Defense Fund. Thank you, Magical Pixie. Happy holidays to you too. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year's, and I hope everyone stays safe out there this year. Caffeine. Oh yeah, I already got the caffeine going. It's like I had coffee this morning, and then I had to have coffee again with a coffee chaser, and then a shot of coffee to wash that down. So yeah, now I'm on my my coffee between coffee break because I could live. This is all I would need, and I've been drinking coffee since I was 12 years old, somewhere around there. Is there any other way to live? You have to be highly caffeinated, especially to deal with the world today. It's nuts. You wake up in the morning, you're hearing like, this is going on, that's going on, and you're like, you know what? It could all be on fire, and as long as I have my coffee, it's okay. There's your next Folgers commercial right there. World's on fire, bombs dropping everywhere, and you're just like, Win Cafe. That's how you do it right there. Evan, I wouldn't speak for Glory because he doesn't even like you. And I'm not exactly sure what you think I should be self regulating. Um, the only thing I should be regulating is you. But you're feeding the algorithm exactly what I want it to get. So keep on yapping. Because that's the beauty of this whole thing, right? Oh man, you guys are great. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday and a happy New Year. I really do. And stay safe out there. Okay. Stay safe. Don't get anywhere near my aircraft while I'm trying to take off. And if you watch watch my last video where I did the 90mm, and you see that the thumbnail it's broken apart and has fire coming out of it. It's just a little AI art that I did for the thumbnail. It was funny. You have to admit, I got impatient. I went out there with no rudder control and no steering, and I was like, because I couldn't afford to get the parts that I was waiting for, and I was like, I was like right in the middle, close to the end of, because I got shingles, which is horrible, and I just went out there and I said, you know what, I'm going to send it and just have fun and see what happens. And it would start, as soon as it started to get lift, it would spin because all the weight would come off the wheels, and then the thing would spin, and I had no rudder authority. So I put in a vector thrusting vane in the back behind the 90 millimeter, and then I did a CFD analysis on the wing. Plus, I have some pictures at the end of that CFD analysis on the last video I posted, which kind of show the aerodynamics of the wing. I know there's going to be some cross-sectional drag at the base, but you know what plane doesn't at takeoff, because you got to retract the gear. So there's always that, but that's conditional drag rather than a static drag that doesn't go away in the aircraft. That's and then because I get a lot of people that come in here and they'll say, you know, hey, you know, you don't know this aeronautical term or this aviation term or this and that. I'm an engineer. I'm going into aerospace engineering, but I had to do industrial engineering first, and I've always had a passion of flying, so I know it works because I've modified planes, I've flown planes. All used to be old school serial bus. None of this flight controller stuff where there's stabilization. You were using the sticks and you were actually flying, and it was all on you. Not, oh no, I'm in trouble. Flip a switch and all of a sudden it's just gliding in place, you know, totally stable. No, you had to know how to fly. And I was flying twin 70 millimeter, you know, an Su-27, I think. It was a Russian fighter. It was an older one. And I had a power glider, which was a Super Sky Surfer. Loved that plane. 6-foot wingspan. So I put a bigger motor in it and a prop that would not fit. So I cut the prop down, rebalanced it so I'd have more power because it had a higher pitch. And man, I flew that thing. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun to fly. And then a friend of mine was flying his plane, which was one of the most horribly designed planes I've ever seen in my life. And he flew it, I don't know how, into a satellite dish onto a roof of a house. I couldn't figure out how he got it up underneath the dish, but because I was recording it. It's in my old school RC playlist. And he flies it, the plane takes off, and then drops out we're in the neighborhood. It drops out of sight. And this is way before any of the regulations and stuff like that. And you having to have a drone license to fly this, that, or the other. This is when you were allowed to have fun. You know, but anything in California is illegal if it's fun. Or you have to have a license for it and pay a tax. Then you can be free. But he was flying the plane, it went up, and then it went down. I saw him diving, and it went behind the house. I was like, uh-oh. He's like, where'd it go? I'm like, well, it was facing down. So we looked everywhere for it. And his daughter was out there. And we're looking over fences and stuff like that because I heard it hit metal. And we're looking over fences, and I see a shed, and I'm like, maybe it hit that. And then his daughter looks up, and you can hear in the background of the video, she goes, Daddy, I see the plane. And my friend looks over and looks up, and there's a satellite dish on the second story of the house. It's a 2-story house, and the satellite dish is facing away, like up the roof. And he somehow got the plane under the dish and into the mount, and one of the wings is hanging down and like swinging like this. The body's just jammed into the satellite dish. I was like, how in the hell did you do that? It's like the one plane, you couldn't have just hit the ground. You landed on the roof. And not to mention, you hit a satellite. Somebody's probably in there watching TV, and that it goes fuzzy, and they're like hitting their TV. They don't know that there's a plane stuck in their satellite dish. It was one of the funniest things. We had some funny things happen. I was flying a plane that my father-in-law bought me before he passed. He wanted to get into flying planes. He was into the balsa wood stuff, so I helped him build the P-51 Mustang and the DC-3, I did all the balsa work. And these were big planes. These were like the big 6-foot wingspan nitro planes. And he wasn't confident in his ability to do the balsa work, so I did the balsa work for him. But he bought me the Switch, which was an actual plane that you could fly. It was low wing aircraft or a Cessna type high wing aircraft, where it was basically an aerobatic plane, or it was a hangar. It was a fuselage hangar plane, right? So the wings on the top or on the bottom. You could change it depending on how good you got with the plane. Well, I'm flying this thing over at a park. It's a big park, right, in the valley. And I'm flying around and everything's going fine. And I'd already beat the crap out of this plane, okay? I'm flying, I'm coming back, I'm coming in, I'm making a turn, and I'm like at the runway right here. I make a turn, and the engine falls off. It just falls right off. And all I can see is the 3 ESC wires sticking out the front. The engine goes flying off. I'm like, I landed it literally no motor, dead stick, almost landed it almost perfect with no motor. And then I had to go out into the dirt, into the field, and pick up the motor, and it was okay. The prop was okay. The motor was okay. It just all the bolts came off of the balsa, and it broke away from the plane. And I landed without a motor. Oh, he had a fly-by-wire plane. You're talking about that was before the RX. That's what my dad used to do a long time ago. He used to fly them, and he'd sit in that circle, and he taught me how to do it. And you would just fly the plane. It was a nitro plane. You just swing it in circles, and you're like fighting the G-forces of that thing. But good Lord, I hope that like you don't get hit by something like that. That must have hurt, getting hit by something like that. It's like, yeah, I want to show my wife what's going on. And it turns around and it's like the props all spun up in your hair and hanging down. You know, planes just hanging there. Well, probably because you keep saying weird crap, do you will? I think you were timed out, not blocked. But yeah, I can imagine getting hit by one of those things. That'd hurt. Was it? I assume it was a nitro plane. You didn't break any rules. Shall we go back over the chat? We want this to be a good experience for people in the chat. So if you're harassing me, that's fine, because I don't care. But if it's bothering other people, then we gotta go dunce cap in the corner until people learn how to behave and be civil. Because this is about getting to know who you guys are, the potential subscribers, the people who are interested in the content, that kind of stuff. The creation, because it's not just about flying stuff. It's not just about building stuff. It's about coming up with new stuff, which is why I have a drone that's 5 feet by 5 feet and has 4 11-blade, 340 millimeter high-pass turbine ducted fan engines. And if you don't believe me, check out the Shrike Sarop playlist. You will see the tests I've done on that motor, on that drone. I'm still waiting for parts. It's a big drone. It's super expensive to get these batteries, super expensive to get these ESCs and motors. It's the kind of thing I can't do overnight. Otherwise I would. Now, I've seen a lot of channels out there where the guy's on his own property, has his own runway, has a whole bunch and he's building planes the size of actual planes, like in their RC. And it's really cool, But when you can do what I've been doing with almost nothing, that's when you have to get really creative. That's when um, you have to think outside the box and not just inside your wallet. Because you got enough money, you can buy just about anything and build it, put it together, carbon fiber this, big batteries that. But when you don't have a lot of fundage and you're still trying to make this a fun thing for people, you've got to think outside the box. So my designs follow that genre. They follow that idea of you can do this with off the shelf parts from Amazon, things like that. Um, some of the stuff I had to order from overseas, like the ESCs, but they sell them on Amazon, but they didn't sell the amps that I needed for the mag components. ESCs, the AMPX 120 amps are what I'm using for the drone. And the motors are 75 volts, so it's an 18 cell setup. But it can lift 427 pounds. So it's a big drone. And another thing, I did enter the DARPA Lift Challenge. Now, I designed a drone for that, but I'm not showing it to anybody because we haven't done the Lift Challenge yet. It's not until June, and I'm not giving away my design for that drone. What I thought was ironic, though, is on the DARPA Lift Challenge, you're limited to 55 pounds on the drone, and you have to lift 110 pounds. They're looking for someone to come up with a design that lifts a 4-to-1 basically weight ratio. They want to be able to be 4-to-1 instead of just 1-to-1, which is what they've been dealing with now, which were the DJI agricultural drones. Not to mention DJI being a Chinese company, it's a national security risk. So the military wants something that they can use to lift heavy payloads and it be reusable. So I designed, and this is the great part about, I don't like math, but I had to start designing, will the DARPA be printed? Yes, the main wings will be printed, but for the most part, the main spine of the drone is a carbon fiber rectangular tube that takes a lot of weight. Without giving away too many of the details, I can finish the mission that DARPA set aside with 51% reserves left in my batteries and still be under the 55-pound weight limit for the drone. Because you have to follow Part 107 rules and the 44008, I think. 44807, I think they have. I think it's called. 44807 plus the 107. There's an exemption for the 107 because they're going to be using Olympic barbell weights and then they'll put a tracker in it. So I have to fly 4 nautical miles loaded with 110 pounds, and then I have to drop off the weights and fly another nautical mile unloaded and then land. So I had to science the out of this, okay? And I went to the math. I designed the aircraft specifically with math first. Then after I did the math, I figured out which airfoil was going to work good for me. And then I decided what design was going to work good for the VTOL, the transition from the 300-foot mark to the 350-foot mark loaded, and how to keep the wings from dipping and everything else. I can't give away a lot of details. All it is, I designed the entire drone. I've already done the CAD work, but it's expensive. It's super expensive to build the drone. It's going to cost me close to $9,000 to build this. That's at a minimum to build this drone because of the motors that I had to get, because of the batteries I have to get. So I'm looking for angel investors because it's I think the prizes were, first place was 2.5 mil. Second place is I think around 2 million. And third place is 1.5 million. They have a total prize cash pool of 6.5 million. I believe. Well, you can look at the DARPA Lift Challenge online and you can see the rules and you can see what the prizes are and you can see who gets what when they finish. DARPA intentionally makes these things impossible to finish because they want to see how close or how innovative somebody can get to completing the mission. My math shows I can complete the mission with energy to spare and still keep the craft under 55 pounds. I wish I could show it to you, but I will not show that drone until after the competition, and then you'll see the whole video. There's going to be video of the competition, I'm sure. There'll be my video of the competition, what DARPA lets me have, basically, and then I'll upload that when it's done. But until then, I will be doing testing if I get enough investors involved to actually build the drone, because there's no way I could build. That's like buying a new car for me. I couldn't do it, So I have a design that will finish DARPA's mission challenge. I just don't have the capital. So I've got a couple people that are interested and might be interested in getting involved because they kind of like the idea of having a portion of $6.5 million, which I don't blame them. But hey, anyone's welcome to join in. Deep purple. Welcome to Shack, Bethy? Bathy? Is it Bathy? Bathy? I have no idea how to say your name. DARPA drone aerial combat. No, this is a logistics issue. This is about the military needing to be able to move more payload, in the battlefield, ammunition, medical supplies, that kind of thing. They need to be able to move more stuff. And they've opened up this competition to everybody. So, as long as you have a design and you have the application done, I went to the webinar back on the 4th of December, and I was, they know I'm involved. So now it's just a matter of finding the investors to build the drone, and then because I'd love to build it within the next month or two, so that I could do some flight tests, because I want to run several tests before we even get close to the challenge. Set up my own track, do my own tracking, do the 4 nautical mile run, drop the 110-pound payload, do another nautical mile run and land. And I want to be able to test that on the rig that I've designed. But like I said, it's going to take some money. And I'm kind of hoping I can continue with the challenge with what it's going to cost to actually build this thing, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. When you start getting into these bigger motors and things like that, it's not cheap. DARPA drone trial combat. It starts peaceful. So yeah, realistically, that's the idea. You want to be able to complete the challenge and have battery left over. And when I was going over the math, I had looked at it probably 10, 15, 20 times. I'm like rechecking my math and rechecking and rechecking and rechecking. I'm going, this can't be right. But it is. So I can lift a 110-pound payload with a 55-pound craft up to 350 feet, deliver it 4 nautical miles away, fly back 1 nautical mile, land, and still have 51% of my battery reserves left. And I'm still not sure how I did it. But the math doesn't lie, and that's what it's all about. The math doesn't lie. So I'm really hoping that in the future we get some investors in this because I mean, hey, first place is 2.5 mil. Just saying. You guys probably want to see one of my other planes fly first, huh? But anyway, the idea behind this today was to basically just jump on and say, you know what? I wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I wanted to talk about the drone, the 90 millimeter wing. Yes, it has a rotor now, and once it's done printing, we're gonna take it back out and fly it again. And it's just kind of these side projects that I like doing with, you know, the wing, the drone, the small drone. I like to do those things on the side. I like to have multiple projects going because some of the stuff I already have a lot of the hardware for, so I can do it. So I'll look at the hardware and I go, like, I designed this wing around the stuff I had laying around. I was like, how many servos I got? 2? Okay. ESC? Nah, I got to order that, but it'll be here. Ordered the ESC. Had the fan already, the 90 millimeter. So I designed the entire craft around the components. And everyone was like, you're going to run that with a 6,000 milliamp battery? That's heavy. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. So that's what I did. And it turned out that it's just it's a way to pass the time. It's a way to pass the time between, you know, those big purchases when I can make another purchase for the other 2 ESCs for the monster drone. And I'll show it to you right now because we're getting ready to wrap up the stream, but I want to be able to show you guys those drones. So let's do that really quickly. So this one I moved it over here, but this is 340 mil right here. 340 millimeter 11 blade high pass. This is a 5x5 drone. The smaller version of this is the 70 millimeter EDF here. And this one I've already flown. I've actually built another one and made it in FDE color. And this one actually flew really, really well. I was very impressed with this. This here is a drop-in solution using the same kind of motor, 7070, 75 volt motor. And this one is for, like, if you want to do an F-35 or a Harrier. So there's a high-pass fan in there. And it runs on a 4-to-1 gear ratio. And uses a 150 amp ESC. This is only a 48 volt. But when you're running this at 75, you get a lot more power. And that's where these ESCs come into play. These are the mag components ESCs here. But I've got some fan balancing I have to do before I button these up. And then we'll be able to fly this one. And then I've got some control components and stuff like that I have to get to make sure everything's buttoned up and works perfectly. This one here, well, you saw that video. If you haven't, I'm sure you will. This battery actually survived the crash. It's because it wasn't that high up in the air in the first place. The top hatch survived. That was impressive. But the only thing that actually broke was this thin area right here. And that's where my weak point was. And I've already addressed that situation because both wings, no matter how much torture they endured, they didn't break. They didn't break at all. It broke at this point here on the body. Because these wings are just... It's a 3D printed wing. I'm trying to break it because I want to get the servo out, but... Okay, so you can see why that wing survived, and the internal body section didn't because it was just too thin. But I've since addressed that Still have my little cart here, which worked out really well. The little cart worked out good. You still see the dirt all over the wheels because I didn't trust myself to hand launch it. And that was a good thing because you need 20. This one needed about 29 miles an hour before it could actually gain lift. The elevators or the elevons that had set up on this were sufficient. It had enough. There was enough elevon there for maneuverability. A lot of people would disagree. They're like, that needs to be bigger. It's like, well, how much elevon do you need? You know. So the next one, the wing is actually a lot longer, and I have more lift surface here before the actual control surface out towards the end of the wing. So, yeah, that's my crumple zone. As you can see, that gyroidal infill, it looks really cool. But see, it's only at 404. So the gyroidal infill, even though it's strong, becomes really spongy. But since I've changed the nozzle out to a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, now I don't have to do 2 wall thicknesses. I can do 1, and the gyroidal infill is going to be 0.6, so it's actually going to be a lot stronger than this, which gives me hope for the next design iteration. So, that being said, all the components are here. So that's going to make it a lot easier to build it. This one I want to get up and running as soon as it gets here. Yes, I am running 4 70 millimeter EDFs at 6S. This will hold and carry a 10,000 milliamp pack. This drone. That's what this drone's for. Hold on. And of course, you gotta have some lighting on it. So once I get the motors in, I'll put them in and we'll take this out and fly it at the field. The first one, like I said, if you look up Shrike Maiden, you'll see the Shrike V10 Maiden. That's the one where the FDE colored one flew really, really well. It's actually, you can see parts of that video on the homepage of my channel. It's the trailer that's on my channel page. It's actually, you can see it there. It's pretty cool. But anyway, it's been a wonderful life. You guys have been awesome. And I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone that has pitched in and said, you know what? Hey, let's see some more great content. I'm going to do my best to bring you that great content, even if it's funny. Sometimes you got to sacrifice a plane. I've got one over there, though. You're next. No, I'm going to do this one again, but that one will go eventually. I just have to get some stuff for it. That's what it's always about, man. Waiting for parts all the time. That's my life. Oh, yeah. And these lights you see here, most of you already know, is in the big drone here as well. This has 1,440 LEDs in it. And I think I can, for those who don't already know, let's see if I can show this to you really quickly. Those who haven't seen it, I have the buck converter over here. No. So kind of sitting at a weird position here. Hold on one second. Stare at the water bottles. Okay. So this is the lighting right here for this one. This one likes to give me an attitude. You see? Stupid loose wire. But I have a buck converter in here that handles the amps for these. And the entire, I've got the same thing in the other motors too. I just haven't, I've got to wire them up. The Arduino's in there. And I've got to add another buck converter so I can power those. But yeah, this is going to be, that's going to be cool. Is that not cool? That's like mesmerizing. You know you want to subscribe and share. You know you want everyone to see the 340mm Strike concept drone. The Strike Sarop drone. I'm gonna ride this thing to the store. Pick up some milk. Now, this is sort of a prelude to a rideable quad, but stop it! Stop it! Go blue! Oh well, at least it'll look like a UFO still. Small things I got to work out and then get some more components, but it is what it is. And that one's going to look cool too while it's flying. So if I didn't do this, I wouldn't know which direction I was flying at night. I can guarantee you that. But projects are still ongoing. I am reprinting you. Don't worry, my friend. And then we will fly the 90mm wing again, hopefully in the air. And then we'll see what happens with this drone here and that drone there. Let's see how it looks at night. Isn't that cool? That's so cool. That's awesome. Yeah, one of the bits are not biting. It's because there's a loose wire in there. And you know how this works. It's just like hitting a TV. Back in the day, console television. But anyway, the point is, I'll get it worked out. And it's basically, this is the design. And it's all Arduino controlled, so I can change it anyway. Plus, if I have to work on this light here, you just take the screws out of the top, because the top of the drone has screws going through for the duct work, and then you have internal fan ducting here. And I can just take the screws out. And this is just RTV that holds the two pieces together. It's really not even needed because of the internal fan casing, but it's there just because. And then I'll just take this off and then address that light and get it working again. So it looks like this. Like it's supposed to. But yeah. The reason why I didn't enter this one into the DARPA challenge is because I had built this long before I even knew about the DARPA challenge. And this one comes in at around 85 pounds. And it has 427 pounds of thrust. But I do need to alloy the blades. I need to get a good desktop CNC for that. Because it'll fly like it is now, but it's not going to take the load that it can take of that 400 pounds with those PETG blades. Because those are PETG blades. Everything's printed. But if you go to that playlist, that Shrike Sarop drone playlist, you'll see where I did a lot of motor testing on this. And it was a lot of fun. I actually have a test fan still that I plan on dropping like a huge kielbasa into to mimic a bird strike or like a whale strike, I guess, at that scale. But anyway, that's what we're doing. And we're going to keep doing it until we get it done and get you guys some really cool content, some flights, and hopefully some air under the wings. But remember, if you ever want to do stuff like this, always remember, everyone is a 3D printer. And with that, I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by, everyone who contributed to the channel, everyone who stayed, stuck around, and enjoyed the content. I love each and every one of you. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be safe, and I will see you in the new year, hopefully with a flying plane. Fingers crossed, right? Love you all. I will see you next time. I've been DPC. I'm out.